The topic is human-machine collaboration at the core of Quality 5.0. Too many terms, yeah. But the key terms which I would like you to notice in this presentation is collaboration and Quality 5.0, right? That's the theme of this presentation. So, a bit about me. 27 plus years in the industry. Started my career as an engineer, graduate engineer with Larsen & Toubro. Changed profiles. Right now working for a company called Capgemini. As a global emerging practice and quality leader. I work across countries, across business lines and things like that. The focus is on various pieces like Agile, DevOps, and Lean, and Gen AI, and innovation. But as my previous speaker, Mr. Farid, said, it's all about human at the end of it, right? So we tie all these knots together, back. All right. So have worked across globe, have worked with various companies, and I think I have seen a lot of similarities, irrespective of nations and culture and people. Because at the end of it, that human behavior definitely is the key to everything. All right. So my today's discussion here is again going to emphasize on that aspect. So it's a privilege to be a part of this forum and honor to speak in front of you. Okay, so let's look at the agenda items. I'm going to talk a little bit about Capgemini Group so that you have a context of where I'm coming from. I'll go very quick. I'll not bore you too much. But then the agenda is about discussion about 4.0 to 5.0. Yeah. I'm going to talk about a little bit about AI, right? It's a lot of hype in the market, a lot of things being discussed. Everything will change. So we're going to touch a little bit of realities there, right? And coming from a tech company, we are at the heart of this movement. So a little bit a discussion about that. But as Mr. Farid said, I'm going to talk about human-machine collaboration, right? So human is the key part there. Some type of implementation nuances and the future outlook. So how do we do from here? Okay. All right. So let's look at who we are. This is Capgemini Group. We are the global business and technology transformation leaders. So we work with a lot of companies across the globe in their transformation programs as a technology as well as business consulting partner. All right. Around 50 countries we operate from with a global footprint. 340,000 people across the group, and we just recently acquired another company, so it's going to be around 4 lakh people in another month. Yeah, so a lot of people coming, are distributed actually across the globe. So traditional IT players, they operate by and large from India. We do have a little different policy. We are just 40% in India, right? But so it's a strategic position what we have taken as a group, right? Two key numbers here. We work with 85% of top 200 largest public companies on Forbes list, and our research institute has been ranked as #1 for many years now, and 12 direct years for being an ethical company. Right? Service lines, applications, infrastructures, business, engineering, research and development, various forums, right? So, but now I think let's get the story started. The story is really about people, and this is our vision, and this is our reasons of existence. So we are a tech company, but our vision is not tech. Our vision is about unleashing human energy using tech, right, for a sustainable and inclusive future. So you see these keywords are becoming more and more relevant and more real. It used to be a book on the shelf, but all of you would have now starting to possibly take a cognizance that yes, they have started touching the ground. Many of these things have started becoming real, not just the review meeting or a board meeting decks, right? So we're going to talk a little bit. So let's get started. Industry 5.0. How many of you have already heard this term? How many of you have already started working in that direction? Can I see some hands? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think others are being just modest. They might not know that they are already there, right? They have already started. So let's look at few markers, and these markers are more of practical markers. They are not bookish. So there are terms which I've written, which I have seen on the ground. Okay. So of course, sustainability and ethics, I will not talk too much about it, right? It's a grounded topic. Let's pick up the two key markers. Dynamic market. What do we need? We need to change our agenda. We need to be adaptable, right? And that's where, if you look at the continuous innovation and sensing that market, changing our strategies, changing our product and services on a regular basis is becoming a focus, right? But key to this entire movement is not that also. The key is human centricity, right? And that's where this entire movement is going on. But there is one more movement which started coming in parallel, which became a part of it, and that's the tech part of it. Now I cannot just say that I am focusing on human and I'm ignoring tech. But is it the same tech like, we started automating things decades back? That's where it becomes different, all right? So let's look at where 4.0 and 5.0 moves. 4.0, of course, came out as a response to Industry 4.0, right? Quality 4.0. Digital transformation, the hype of the industry, people trying to implement those things. Of course, Quality 4.0 is obvious. So, where are we going with this? Quality 4.0 focuses on intelligent processes, systems, digital systems, right? Is it going away? Absolutely not. The intent of these systems is changing now. The intelligence is getting on top of it, which means that we are making it more human-centric evolution, right? So if you look at 4.0 to 5.0, I think the discussion is more about being technology-centric to being human-centric. Of course, when you are technology-centric, you're still thinking human, but I think now it's becoming intensified, yeah? What does it mean if I have to show the same blocks? Those pictures which I showed earlier, the intelligent processes comes at the bottom of it, right? They feed everything. But let's talk a little bit about tech. What has happened in last couple of years? Okay, and it's not actually happened in last couple of years. It actually caught fire in last couple of years. The Gen AI evolved, right? The movement came in. How many people have been using chat GPTs of the world right now? How many of us was using it 1.5 years back? Ah, yeah, you are my guru. You see the intensity, such a speed. Where do you think the speed will go in next 6 months? Right? So you have to acknowledge it, then only you will be able to understand and accommodate it. Right? Further movement which has happened very silently, democratization of this AI. ChatGPT is free. Google is making its AI sit. Edge is making its AI sit in its browser free of cost. So even for SMEs, it's very practical to use that power. So it's not an expensive solution now anymore, right? So many of the things started happening in this direction. Okay, it's a co-pilot. So I'll go through these, and if you read through these bullets, these are many things which are happening in this Gen AI. It's not just about co-pilot, or it's not just about ChatGPT, right? The critical one is the culture shift toward AI fluency. It means what? AI exists. Can I make it real? Or is it another book on the shelf? Is it another automation? Can I accommodate it in my flows, in my workflows, in my structure? And this is the discussion which we have, right? And that's where organizations are investing. But you invest in anything as an organization, what do you invest for? There are some icons I've put at the top. Can anybody guess the top ones? What is the second one?
Money.
There you go, right? Cost, money, right? That's a business indicator for us, right? So if something we are bringing it as a strategy, it has to hit it. Any guess on the first one?
Speed.
There you go, thank you. So speed, cost. What's the next one?
Recognition.
Quality, recognitions, correct. Next,
Innovation.
innovation. Exactly. And the next one?
Customer experience.
Customer satisfaction.
So satisfaction, experience, all that type of stuff.
Employee satisfaction also.
Sure. It's means to an end at the end of it, right? So now, where is this AI, Gen AI position? All right, I have put another markers at the end of it. The second one, any guess on the first one? These are the capabilities which AI bring to the table. Time, productivity is the essence. Second,
Creativity.
thank you. You're all better than what I thought. Third one, knowledge.
Knowledge.
Thank you. How many of us have heard the DIKW cycle? Data, information, knowledge, wisdom. Please Google it. Okay? Where there is a data, you turn it into a information, then there is a knowledge, and then the wisdom. That's changing because you have another step called intelligence. And wisdom is happening directly from the data because your LLMs, your agents, and all those things are sitting in between. There's a whole lot of discussion happening in the industry that what happens to the DIKW cycle. Okay? Knowledge is a very critical part, and going back to you, Mr. Farid, it's the same thing. But now it's intensified, it made more powerful, it becomes real for people. It's not a book on the shelf. People can talk to the knowledge, and I think that's where it becomes real. Fair point? The next one is it's always available. You have choices. Thank you. You're thinking ahead. All right. And the last one is it can alert you. It can alert you about the risk. It can predict. Right? So if you look at the fundamentals have not changed, but you have a new player in the market which has started becoming more stronger. And we call it artificial intelligence, but keep in mind it's not intelligent. It does intelligent things very fast. Right? So let's move. But there is a difference here. Difference between automation and AI. Unless we understand that, it's not going to be easy for us to understand why are we talking. It's another technology. Automation was always 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. That's not how AI and especially Gen AI works. Right? So you need to understand this anyway. Automation is repeated processes getting automated. AI is simulation of cognitive process or human intelligence. Right? There's a difference. Now, if you look at the last two bullets, don't need to read this entire thing, but decision making, you don't expect automated systems to make decisions most of the time. The emphasis here in AI world is decision. Learning ability. It's supposed to learn. Where does it help? Well, we said the systems are dynamic, the environment are dynamic. If my script cannot learn, it's irrelevant before we think it is. Right? Things change, right? So the 3 key markers there. If you don't understand AI correctly in the industries, we will miss the opportunity to position it correctly. It will become an operational lever rather than a strategic lever for you. The second part, if you don't understand it, you don't know how to engage human being with AI correctly at the right place at the right time. You will overthink and overestimate the power of AI. You go wrong. It will create a problem, right? And the third one is, of course, you would not be able to put it in context of the dynamic environment. The world has become more dynamic. You need AI. You need changing systems, and that's where it is, right? Now, when we started in this, and that's the reason why human AI collaboration is actually at the root of 5.0. It's a way to human centricity, right? It's a way to make it more intelligent and an intensified system. We have our own framework. Most of the companies are going it, so I will not ask you to read through it too much. It's called resonance. But why I brought this picture here is there are 3 pieces to it: access, adapt, adopt. The access goes into making sure that you have your systems in place, your softwares, your as a service, and things like that. The second layer is actually about your governance, roles, parameters, things like that. And the last one, the biggest problem, how do you make it real for people? If you put it top down, it will not work. People have to touch and feel it to understand where it is going. right? And that's where we've been doing a lot of experiments. And next 3 slides, I want to show you a few strategies, if you want to note it down, of how to make it real with people. All right, and this is our own work. This is not an exhaustive list. This is something close which we have observed over the experiments which we have been doing across the group, and that's where it comes from. Okay, so these are human-machine collaboration related strategies. I've grouped it into 3, otherwise it becomes too much. The first one is interactive. So machines are intelligent, but human is still the same. Sorry about that. The first one, interactive collaboration. What do we do in automation? Click a button, it works, okay. And it works 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 every time. AI is not like that. Interaction is the key. How do we do it? Right? The second part, AI has its own knowledge. It's not a script. So when you put intelligent being, as a human being, and another intelligent system together, how do we get the best of the value? How do we enhance, amplify that intelligence? Make sense till now? All right. And the third one is responsible, trustworthy, ethical. Right? So I've just grouped it. Let me show you a few pictures there. What's happening? The first one is really about working together, as I said. Right? What is evolving? We are seeing that people are trying to experiment with how do we work together? What role AI can take? What role human has to take? Can AI suggest and leaders decide? Maybe AI decide up to certain level and after that leadership decide, or they decide but take a sign off from human being. Time will tell. But it's very contextual. You see, it's not going to be one way to answer it. All right. Power of conversations. If you have worked with any of the generative engines which are more visuals, and you'll say, hey, give me a UI or give me this thing, it will give you 4 options. And you say, okay, I like option number 2, but I need this. So it will give you from 2, it will create 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. And then you'll say, can you add this here? It will give you 2.11, 2.12, 2. You see, so it's a power of interaction. It doesn't know what you want. And that's where working together, the power of conversations becoming critical. Beyond automation, unless you use it for innovation, context sensing, it's not going to be useful, right? So how do you do that? And that's why the roles are evolving. You know, it's like if in our world we are writing a code, and we are saying, okay, you are a developer, you're a starting developer, then you are a senior developer, you're like this. Hey, can the first part, which is level 0, level 1, can it be done by AI? And then human takes over, right? So now you'll have different roles coming up, formal roles, right? And people have started to hire AI agents, right, on their roles. Of course, no payment, but there is an expense, right? And human in loop, which means what? Anything which you do, you make sure that AI is not on its own. No, it's not about Skynet taking over the world and that type of stuff. It's really about making sure that even the operational decisions what are being taken are made sense. Till now, making sense?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. I go to the next one. Now, because we have an intelligent being, you use that collective intelligence. Okay. Design reviews now are starting to take human and AI together. They bring different perspectives. Reviews are making sense when you do it together, right? Organizational intelligence. Sir, talk about knowledge management. We have prepared a lot of knowledge management documents, and right from, and all of us are quality folks, so we have a quality management systems and a lot of documentation. How many of those documentations are read by people when they really need? Now, what we have done, we tried, and now we are really at scale about it. We took a 200-page book, a manual, and we put an agent on it and asked people not to read the book, ask the agent. And we started tuning it. Now the book is at the back end. You want to read it? Go ahead, read it. But now when you're on a floor and you are trying to work on it, you say, hey, this is what has happened. What do you suggest? Answers. So the knowledge management becomes more active. It's the time to make knowledge management real. Of course, we'll have a problem with active and tacit knowledge, and you will require new rituals to bring the tacit into an active one. Right? You see, whole lot of stuff is changing there. Right? Empathy, emotional intelligence. When I get an email, I read it based on what happened at my home. Did my wife give me the right breakfast or not? That depends upon my mood. I mean, that makes my mood to answer that email. All right. And I'm just taking it on the lighter side, but at the end of it, I think you get the gist. That our mood, we are human, makes us understand what's the mood of that person who's writing an email. AI can help in the real time. It tells you, this is the mood, this is the persona, and things like that, okay? One thing which is going to happen and which is happening right now, content overload. Because I can create a presentation just by a click, I try to create 15 of them. And now I don't know which one of them is useful. What is going to happen with that? So the strategies about how do you use AI to even solve that overload is another strategy which is very relevant and it's coming up, okay? And of course, the feedback. If you do something, if they take something, if they create something, give the feedback. No, I don't like it. It tunes. It's an intelligent being, right? Now, the third one, ethics and trust, ethical alignment. Recruitments done by AI, HR need to be in place. The policies need to be thought through. AI is not from space. It carries our biases. It's human in its thinking, which means it has all the negatives human has. Now it's on steroid. So God save us unless we don't do this, right? Co-design, but it brings another one. Can I ask AI to actually comment on my system as well, what I'm creating, right? It's a different perspective. Resilience through redundancy is more about when we are seeing in the experiments, we are seeing more and more saying, maybe at this level, we need to have both human and AI coming together. Let them do it, right? Contextual adaptation, trust and explainability. Explainability is something which is going on. It was big learning for us because we always came from that automation mindset. And we came and we gave a prompt and we did this thing with the chat GPTs of the world, and the answer came and we said, okay, but we said, it's not right. Then we said, why don't we ask it, hey, you gave some response, it's not good. Then he said, oh, sorry, can you ask me the question which you need to make it good? Right? It actually asking questions. So rather than assuming that it's an automation, you let it ask questions so that it can create. Right? It's again the power of conversation, but it can then explain the logic why it brought it. Right? So now, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It's not easy and it's not going to be easy. We are seeing so many variables. You will see it as well, and you might be seeing it already in your companies as well. Okay? Few variables, I'll just go quickly. I'll not read through it, but I'll pick up one or two. Mindset shift, well, every movement is a mindset shift, right? We talk about grounding these things, making sure that the ROI is measured. It's going to be tricky because it's not working at an operational level, it's working at a cognitive level. So how do I say whether it has really created a return for me or not? It's not easy. We've been trying that, there are indicators, but how do you measure the value of this is going to be difficult, all right? And then people might see it as one more thing. So there are a whole lot of notions around it. Be careful, it's a change program, it's a transformation. So if you just use it as one more technology, it's going to fail, all right? The last one, so where is it going? Quick one. You will have a lot of automated intelligence, a lot of it. People will push for it. There will be a lot of natural language processing happening. And then you'll have a lot of AI-driven content. Different type of transformations are going to impact role, governance structures, protocols and things like that. The only option we have in hand is to make it a human movement rather than a technology movement. Well, that's all from my side. If you have any questions, I can take it. Otherwise.